I tweaked the layout just a little bit by a few inches. I didn't recut anything, so the miters are now, they're still not like 100% perfect, but they're significantly better than they were. And then what I did is I put a paint line on both sides of every beam. So now my trench markings are all mapped out. The only thing I'll have to do is, when I dig, is basically dig this whole octagon pattern at the same level, meaning it's level there and here, and they're both the same height. So when the beams go back in, those ones, because the grade is higher, are going to be in further. These ones will be out of the ground further. That's how it's going to look. But across the top, they should all be level. That's going to be really nice when we put the gravel in there and put everything in place where it should be. I hope this is the last fire pit I'll ever have to build. But you know what? The hard work is going to be rewarding, because we're going to get a lot of use in it and enjoyment out of this. All right, it's now the perfect time of evening to finish this measuring process. So what I've got is my laser set up, and I'm just shooting a beam off into the middle of nowhere. However, this gives me an opportunity now. When I measure, I can see where my laser is on that tape. So what I need to do is record each measurement at each corner and use that as a reference. I'm going to write them down on the map that I drew, and I've numbered each corner. And from this, I'm going to be able to figure out how much I need to dig, where my 0 point is, if I want to have these 4 inches in the ground, the lowest, the highest, and so on and so forth. So by doing this, I'm going to give myself all the answers I need to dig this accurately and make it look like I want it. So I'm going to get the measuring going. Now everybody is in their respective holes. I've got some tweaking to do with left to right adjustments, and probably got to get the chunk of beam over there to kind of smash down some of these high spots and try to get them a little bit closer to where I want them to sit. but this is another big task finally completed. So I got this last one to fit. Beautiful. I figured I'll pull it out, you know, I'll dig a little bit more just to clear the ground up. And so I started digging, found a rock, started digging a little more, found a rock, digging a little more, found a rock. And this pile of rocks later, all of those, as crazy as this is, all of those were within, from the miter corner to probably, I'm gonna say about here. So within a 5-foot span of this log was all of those guys buried underground. So it's no wonder I couldn't get it to sink, but once they were out, like butter, it dropped right in. And the miter corners aren't terrible. Like I said, they're not perfect, but they were cut with a chainsaw. I think we're doing pretty good here. Looks like I got a little tweaking to do yet. I'm gonna get the power washer out, clean off some of these rocks, some of these logs, and restack the fire pit with my newly acquired boulders. So it's not for nothing. I have them and I'm gonna use them. So this is after a power wash. Got them cleaned up. They've been drying for a while. I had the sprinkler going, got a little bit wet. I restacked the pit for, I don't know if this is the second or the third time now. To, again, just play with the idea of how the rocks are set up. I think I kind of like this style. It looks semi-natural, like what you would build if you were out in the middle of the woods or in the forest or wherever, and all you had were these rocks laying around. I was able to get the fitment really nice on this guy because, you know, we pulled all those boulders out, tweaked this one a little bit. I think I brought this end up and fixed this miter here too. So everybody's fitting just like I want them to now. They're not perfect, but they're close, and I think that's going to be all right out here. So I think the next task in here is going to be getting the rototiller out, turning this grass and the high areas here, basically making everything loose soil so it's easy to rake around and level out. Then level it out, compact a little bit, get some gravel, put gravel in here, probably the same stuff as the driveway, like a 0 3/4 type thing. Get that compacted nice and flat and hard. Once it's flat and hard, then we'll get some decorative stone and put that on top just to dress this whole thing up. I found one little treasure when I was digging. I saw it in front of the camera a couple of clips ago. Looks like about a 3/4 inch masonry bit. Someone lost that a couple of years back, I bet. Thought that was pretty funny. And the pick. Again, a bunch of clips ago you probably saw the handle was cracked, so I threw some tape on it, hoping that it was going to stay and hold together long enough to finish the job. Well, let me tell you, that pick pulled out all those big rocks that you saw the pile on. I've since cleaned them, so you can't really tell who's who. I think this was one, this big grayish color one, this granite rock was one. And they all came out without breaking that handle off, so that fiber reinforced tape held really good. I think I got a roll of that from my aunt once upon a time when she was working at a tape manufacturer, so that was a good hookup. It came in handy today. All right, have a good evening, afternoon, day, weekend, whatever the heck it might be, and we'll see you guys on the next round. Cheers.